She's like, I'm not gonna do it. Y'all just gonna do it. If you come to YouTube, you have to come on camera. Good morning, everyone. You stay right there. It's Cynthia. Who is this Cynthia without her camera on? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm gonna have to mute that. Can't mute that. I wonder if I'm getting that while I'm getting the delay. You stay right there. Oh. Somebody might be listening to me at both places. So make sure you all mute. That's what we'll do. That's what I'll do. It's only me doing that. Oh, because I have you all do this. I'm not sure why it's giving me like that serious feedback. What's interesting? Let's see. Let me check something. I'm a genius. You know why I was doing that? Because I had the YouTube up in the computer and it was playing on another channel. Y'all probably couldn't even hear it. Could you hear it, Miss Charles? Shake your head. No. You couldn't hear it. Okay. I was like, say something and it would say it. It would say it. It would say it. So I see y'all like, wow, so then I muted and I thought it was you all, but it wasn't you. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to make sure that the whole world got invited this morning. So we got people in YouTube, we got people on Zoom, and I'm gonna figure out which one I like most. King Allah, King Allah. That's like King. Indeed, it is good to see you. It is good to be here. This topic, non-disclosure, the only thing, about our Zoom, because the only way to Zoom is you have to use two different computers so they see me. So if y'all do a chat, like there is a chat on the Zoom, and then you can chat in here and I can see as well. But it says, oh, yes, I can hear you. Great, Bernice. I appreciate you. MD. We got Ms. Muhammad over here and we got King Allah over here. It's a good day. Yes, indeed. God is everywhere. So we're talking about non-disclosure agreements. Non-disclosure agreements, legal documents, how to protect yourself, why we have them. Oh, thank you. And he said we're coming through fine on YouTube also. So the why we have legal documents, why this topic, why did this come to mind to me? Because I see all this stuff all the time on social media about professionals who have found themselves with people saying things about them that they say are not true. So a non-disclosure agreement says that this person that you're doing business with or dealing with personally or professionally, if you properly get them to sign the non-disclosure agreement, which is a legal document. So, and there are so many like templates I saw. There's so many inexpensive ways for you to get the legal documents that you need. And the person that knows exactly what you want in it is you. And that's something that we can do as your AfroEconomics membership. You take full advantage of it. And we just get in that template and we work through that together. And we're just like, what do you want to make sure that the non-disclosure agreement, and then if the other party wants to get a lawyer involved, then the other party we get a lawyer involved. No, but we want to make sure that you have the legal documents as a professional, as a business owner. No, I forgot. Look, I forgot that I gotta let people in Zoom. The YouTube, you just get to walk right up. Indeed. So again, I was saying some of you, like y'all could, see me, but you see me, this is different. But I thought today, because I think that this topic is so important. about legal documents to protect yourself, having confidentiality agreements, or like what my clients and members have with me, you have a privacy policy. I have, because I'm licensed professional, I have to have a privacy policy. And I'm licensed as a registered investment advisor, that what I do has to look out for your best interests. So if I tell your business, that's not looking out for your best interests, right? So the privacy policy says I'm not sharing your information with unnecessary people. I don't know if you did the one of the softwares for preparing your tax returns, and the entire time they keep asking, is it okay if we give your info to this? Is it okay if we give your info to this one? If we give your info, to all these different entities that they do business with. And if you say no, then if your information is shared, then it's outside of your agreement with them, right? It's outside of the agreement. I allowed you, Ms. Clementson, and then you all that are watching online, make sure that I can see your you might not be able to see the invitation, so that you can come in the studio right now as well, because the deeper and deeper in the discussion is more productive. And then you all that are watching on Zoom, please unmute yourself if you have a question, because I will be able to, I can hear you. I can hear your question. I can hear you. And look at that. Y'all have more cameras on today in Zoom than they ever have. They make me just look at their pictures. I mean, Miss Charles is like out there, like got the camera on, won't come in YouTube with her camera, but she's out there. Jenny, I see y'all. You just doing that. Look, Tracy even got her camera on. Tracy, we're in YouTube too. I want you to come on camera on YouTube. I put that someone named Cynthia came in on YouTube, but never turned her camera on. So there was no reason, Ms. Lee. Ms. Lee, why would I put her on camera with no camera? So if you come into the studio using this link I just sent you, turn the camera on. Y'all stop acting like y'all don't know how this works. And all y'all on Zoom, come on over to YouTube so you can come on camera. So we're talking about the non-disclosure agreements. Do you all now? I feel that they're vital. Give me some feedback on if you think that having a privacy policy, having a confidentiality, having a non-compete, if you owned your own business, if you had someone working for you, those of you who have businesses and you have someone that's working for you, and they decide to go to another employer and you don't have a confidentiality agreement. But I think, I don't know, there are actually more people in YouTube than there are. Ms. Davis, why aren't you on YouTube? Why aren't y'all, like, I don't understand why our people have to be so difficult. Exactly. I sent you the link directly to go to YouTube, KC, and you all are still in that Zoom. Habits, huh? Habits. I should have just shut down the Zoom. I'm like, no, it's my fault. But yes. I can get off. I can go to YouTube. Well, you look good. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Please come to YouTube and turn on your camera. Okay. Come on, KC. Come on, Jenny. Come on, y'all. Come on over here, because I got I got some key points I want to make sure that we get out. I'm not saying it one more time, everybody that's in YouTube. I'm not saying it one more time. I'm asking them no more to come over here. Those of you already in YouTube that are looking at me, click that link and come on into the studio, because it maxes out and then it won't let anybody in. So good morning right back at you, Mr. Barber. How do non-disclosure agreements apply to non-business situations? There is no such thing as a non-business situation. I'm so glad that you asked that question. There is no such thing as a non-business situation. Everybody who is a part of AfroEconomics and wants to move forward in their life, we must see ourselves as enterprises, as businesses. Come on in, Vicky. Come on into the studio. It is important to protect yourself. So say Vicky D is in a personal relationship. So to answer Mr. Barber's question, that why I say that everything is a business situation, because say she's in a personal relationship, but she has her own money. So she's in this personal relationship and she knows that in this personal relationship, they're going to discuss stuff about her childhood, her mama and her daddy. She might talk about her sister and her brothers. They might do some things together. They might go to the beach and he takes pictures of her in her swimsuit. And she's a very modest woman. So then what happens is they break up because she meets someone else. So this person gets upset with Miss D because she's decided, all of a sudden Vicky decides she doesn't want to see him anymore. So fortunately for Vicky, she carried herself as a professional and got them to sign a non-disclosure agreement that you will not show those pictures of me at the beach with you in Africa for the next 20 years, because a key part of a non-disclosure agreement is the time limit that's put on it. So if she puts 20 years, and 20 years from that point, those photos come out, then she messed up with her non-disclosure agreement. Or if you have a non-compete clause that you allow, that you use, in business. But from a personal perspective, the reason that this topic came out to me, because how is it relevant today? What is going on in the news right now, over and over, involving one of the most famous Black people we know? What is going on right now?
Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp.
Shannon
Yeah.
Sharp. NFL, all these awards, has a show on ESPN, has a show. Come on in, KC. It's me. Hit the link. I'll put the link up there again. Shannon has all these things going on. So he meets this girl in the gym. He meets this girl in the gym. And Shannon said to her, correctly so, Shannon said to the young lady, I need you to sign. Did y'all know this? He asked her to sign the non-disclosure agreement. None of these podcasts that are out there have even brought that point up. He asked her to sign the NDA, non-disclosure, confidentiality, don't tell none of my business, girl, paperwork. And guess what she did? Guess what she did?
I know she's suing him. I know that.
I know that's right. So what does that mean? She said no. She said, no, I'm not going to sign it. She said no. That's when he was supposed to do what?
Run.
One, walk away at least. Crawl. Get out. Don't move forward, Shannon. Oh my goodness. She said no. Her lawyer said, he asked her, she said no. So these are like to show that you're not carrying yourself as an enterprise. young man? You're not showing you're not carrying yourself. Yes. Aruka girl, he should have walked away, run away. We have to. You're gonna say you have a business and you made this brand new product, and there's only one of your products that are on the market, and you bring in this person to be your secretary, and they say, no, I'm not gonna sign that non-disclosure confidentiality agreement. Can't do it. Can't do it. You have to turn on your camera. You won't show up if you don't turn on your camera. Someone came in. I don't know who that is. Yeah, they went back out. Exactly. It's like, yeah, exactly. You got to turn on your camera up in here. The studio won't even let the person come up. It's like I get the and then I realized I was like, oh, I don't know that person. So God protects us. But we have to, like, seriously, if he had realized or at least call his legal counsel. What is amazing to me is that the people who have the most money in our community carry themselves like they can't even afford a $30 a month individual membership to AfroEconomics. I mean, literally. That would have been an easy one. I remember this man, quite older than me, recently was like trying to make a move on me. So he's like pretty big deal, you know, around town. And he lied to me. He told me he wasn't married. So when I went to his website, it said he was married, or at least they're still together. This woman was on there. So I said to him, like, you know, what's up with that? Like, you said that you are married. There's someone on your website. Like, thank God I looked. And then he said nothing, crickets. He did what that girl did to Shannon Sharp. So what I said to the player was, now I'm telling you, the man in his 70s. I said, so to him, I'm a young girl. So I said, have you thought about getting people to sign an NDA? You know what I'm saying? Like, he could have done that to me. And I fell for it, like, you know, and I fall in love or whatever, just fall in money. Just want some of what I think he might have. He ain't have as much money as me, but you know what I'm saying? I can tell. I don't know, though. Sometimes you can't, you know, stupid and money can go together for a while. So I said, have you thought about doing an NDA? And he said, what are you talking about? I said, man, if you're going to be messing around, you need to make sure that these women that you mess with are not going to tell anybody what you're doing. I was like, this girl's crazy. No, this is not a girl. This is a woman. You're dealing with a woman. And everybody keeps talking about that young girl being such a young girl, but that was smart. She was smarter than that grown man. She said, no, I'm not signing that. I'm going to do whatever I want to do to you when you're sick of me. And that's something. She was smart. She could have been working for someone. Easily, yeah. She could have been working for Fox Sports or something like that. God forbid. I'm not saying that. I mean, you know, I be talking like, you know, I'll never be famous or whatever. So I just be saying stuff. So I'm just going to carry myself like I'm an enterprise and say that was just saying allegedly or whatever. Possibly she could have. She could. This could have all been planned.
Oh, wait a minute.
It only took a year and a half to get access to possibly $10 million. Dang. Right, $10 million, but you know what I'm saying? That he couldn't do nothing. He offered her $10 million because he didn't get that NDA signed.
Okay, so wait a minute. I want to get some understanding here about this. So I'm a very, very rich person. I'm maybe
Davis is saying hypothetically, she's a very, very rich person.
Yeah, I'm just a very, very rich person. I'm a very, very rich, you know, rich man. Yeah. And I'm a very, very rich man, and I got like 3 girlfriends. So I can get, and these are 3 girlfriends I'm seeing.
Yes.
You know, maybe they know about each other, maybe they don't, but I know that there are 3 girlfriends. Right. I can get them to sign a just because we're seeing each other.
That's right. Just
and the
because
non-disclosure agreement will say upon our separation,
that's right,
upon this, and this, you will not do A, B, C, D, and G. Is that what that says? Is that basically how that's written?
Yes. And Aruka girl, there is not a certain type of woman. I cannot promise you that if I were mad enough that I would not try to get at least $10 million for a year and a half. That's a pretty good return on your booty. What return on your money? So Aruka girl said that Monique warned him, this is a certain type of woman. Like, no, it's no certain type of woman. I'm saying theoretically, not even theoretically, basically she's smarter than him. She outsmarted him. She's a member of AfroEconomics and she ain't even Black. The girl's smart. The girls are smart. She's smart enough to join AfroEconomics and shit. Black. That's smart. If I gotta choose, exactly, Aruka. If I gotta choose which one is the member, I want the smart one. There's no use of having money and be dumb. What the Bible say? A fool and his money shall soon part. And I was listening, like, people are just foolish. People are foolish. Like, literally, I have already developed the defense for Shannon. Now, first of all, if he had his NDA, he would be good. But his other defense, in my opinion, is that he was hit in his head so much that he's not logical. Like, he has a disease. He has brain damage. I see y'all laughing, but I'm telling you, I believe that he has brain damage, and that should be his defense.
Which can't be proven until he's dead.
He's dead. Yep. Exactly. So she'd have to wait to get his damn money. Exactly. And since you're saying that we can't prove it until he's dead, then you're gonna have to wait to get the money. But I do feel that a lot of the things that he did were illogical. Like ask her to sign an NDA and then not get her to sign the NDA, and some of the things were obvious that she was setting him up. Like that. She's saying these things, texting these things, saying what happened. You know what I'm saying? It looks straight like, here's a summary of what just happened in my house, and you will see this again later. It was so obvious to me. But if your brain isn't working right, you don't see it as this a setup. But a man that was like, had not been hit in the head over and over repeatedly since you've been in middle school. And everybody's like, well, this one man was like, oh man, he was in good shape, and he had a nice body, and that he had to have a special kind of woman, and no. Like OJ said, I'm hurting from my head to my toe. Just because you got big muscles, does not mean that you don't have pain all over. There is no way that he, feels every day like a normal 56-year-old man that didn't get beat down for a living. They get paid that much money because every time they go on the field, they're risking their life. His brother, one hit, his brother was taken out of football. Done. Jen says that my brother was a better player than me. Like, really? Yeah, like, of course, I don't know but I saw him say that, like, that's just from one hit. They said his brother go back on the field, he would never. Yeah, Aruka girl said that Shannon has had hip surgeries. You know what I'm saying? And see, I'm older than him. I know he can't keep up with me. That wasn't no age decision for him to go with that young girl. It was a mental health decision to go with that girl. And he thought, because he's not logical, he did not get the NDA signed, that it was going to be okay. Because what? His head's about there where hers is, but she hasn't had any brain damage. And I'm in no way putting him down, but I do feel that mental health needs to be addressed in these situations. Just because someone's making a lot of money, and just because, and if he were my client, I would be fighting for his protection because of mental health. I mean, literally, y'all gotta admit, I know y'all like, that's a crazy defense, JB, but I really feel that it's possible. Tell the truth, Mr. Barton, it is possible.
It is possible.
That his brain isn't right. So just because he can sit there and take the script and make up questions, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that he doesn't get under pressure and lose his mind.
That's true. That's true. But that brain disorder from playing football is not 100%. All of them haven't had that disease. So, but you can't prove it until that person dies.
And some of them have committed suicide. Like, he could have been having, I hope that somehow he'll get the help that he needs. And y'all be like, JB, you just in denial. That man is crazy. He just wanted to beat up some women. Like, I don't see that. I don't see that when it's highly, like 14 years is a long time to play football.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it? And there's a lot of people who they have to come out because they know their behavior is changing. And they said that there's like some history of that behavior before. Like, so at what point do you get the help that you need? Like, we have to stop thinking that just because people have money, that they're getting the help that they need.
It's true.
Right? Because they're just not. Like, they just need help. They need help. And the people are just people around it. The other day, somebody sent him a press release and he screenshot the press release and then put it on his thing like he said it. They told him what to say, but he didn't know about cut and paste. Come on, y'all. Yeah, Aruka girl know everything. I think Aruka girl got a crush on him. Aruka girl said he's been seeing a therapist. Look, Aruka girl was throwing him under the bus, but I done switched you over, right? Now you feel sorry for him. See how easy? I should have been a lawyer. What y'all think? I should have been a defense attorney. You can see right here that my client is crazy. Who in the world would choke this woman? Say that on a pot and walk away from a DNA or NDA. Non-disclosure agreement. So just throw his career away. Who in their right mind? I'd have the jury. It'd be like Johnny Cochran. He'd be like, if it doesn't fit, OJ is free because of a glove. That's all we need is doubt, right? All I need is reasonable doubt.
True.
You could put in that non-disclosure agreement that the only way that they could sue you is if it were for criminal charges. So what he's going through are civil charges.
Right.
So, because you cannot like make somebody not be able to sue you. So if he did this, it still could be sued about, but in the criminal courts, where it should be. If he did these things, we should make sure that we immediately call the police and take care of the business. Get the DNA done. Get all the evidence that you need so that you don't have to do this like this. Oh man. She said she loves him. If not mistaken, NDAs cover actions during the relationship as well. Yes. Not just after. That's right. And like, when does the relationship really end if you're still seeing each other? It's not over. So you can make your NDA whatever you want. You can make anybody that walks in your house sign an NDA. You coming in my house, sign it like P. Diddy should have done. Anybody come in his party.
Right. Yeah.
You can't disclose nothing.
Right.
Not that they hold up all the time for Black folk, because ask about like even like kind of what got Bill Cosby in trouble is that he had like an agreement that, hey, we settled this matter. I gave you this money. We settled this matter. And then they still use it against them years later.
Mm-hmm.
But Bill Cosby is out of jail because he did settle he did it correctly. He took care of the paperwork. Yes, if you can find a lawyer, anything can be challenged in court.
That's right.
The thing is about finding a crazy Busby that will take you in there, like with the one he took in there with Jay-Z, and her daddy was like, I don't know what they talking about. I did not take that girl to New York at 13 years old. Ain't no way. And I mean, are you telling me Tony Busby didn't at least ask her dad, did you come and get her from New York when she was 13 years old? So you are sitting here and ask this man for all these millions of dollars, but you didn't ask her dad, did he do it? Her dad was like, I don't know what they're talking about. There's no way. I drove all the way down to New York. I will remember this.
So I don't know a lot about this story, but what did the girl not get? What is her complaint? What is she saying? Is she trying to get
referring to
the
P. Diddy and Jay-Z?
No, the Shannon Sharp lady. What is it that she didn't get that she was looking for? What's the hullabaloo about this?
No, she's saying that he RAPE'd her.
But now they've been dating now, right? They've been dating and seeing each other and dating and
and then he didn't do what she said he could do. He did wrong. You know, it was like I said you could do. Do you remember with Kobe Bryant, where the girl said, I said you could do it this way, but you did it this way? It's the same situation.
Okay.
And then now she's getting, and then she said he came back and did it again. To me, that weakens her argument.
Yep.
Why would you ever go close to him again?
Right.
But it's about getting a lawyer that's that money hungry. And that Tony Busby, he knows, like he had already had Shannon. Shannon did a $10 million offer just so that it could be quiet, you know, and it wasn't enough. And that's why we know about it.
Now, how long had they been dating or seeing each other?
It was like 2023. I've seen in reports.
So like a year, maybe?
Oh, yeah, a year and a half. Because his last charge, what he's being accused of last was in January of this year.
Yep.
So it's, recent. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think she's just disgruntled. I think that's the main piece.
That to me makes it feel like love.
Right.
You know, she said that they were mad. She was mad because of the girl that he was on when his phone, he said his phone was hit.
Right.
That could have been a setup too. Think about all of this that's happening to this man. Yeah. All of these could be a business dispute that he has. And all these people could be paid. A person could have been paid to stream him live so that the other woman would get mad or give the other woman a reason, because they all could be working together. They all could be working together. This is so much money. This is so much money that why couldn't they hire 3-4 women to do this? I watched something on Law and Order, and they were accusing this guy of non-consensual. 3 women. He slept with 3 women. This man hired all 3 of those women to set that basketball player up. She was like, what are you talking about? That wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. And all of them said, yeah, it was horrible. I can't believe he did this to me. He was shocked. And the man did it because he had slept with his daughter, a white little girl, a white grown woman. And he was mad.
Right.
In the TV show. So that's just fiction. But think about what could be paid. And look, and that man that only paid them like $5,000. And the only reason the case fell apart is because there was one black girl there and he only paid her like $2,500. So the girl said, I can't believe he only paid me $2,500 and paid them $5,000. I can't believe it. You know what I'm saying? And they said, what are you talking about? And then that's how that guy would have been in jail for the rest of his life.
So kind of like, needless to say, this chick, this Shannon Sharp girl, this is a white chick, right?
I don't know. She's not of color. She's not brown skin. She's not of African descent.
Okay.
No. Yeah. So I would say, there's so many different, you never know what the pick, but she's definitely not black, a regular black girl.
Okay.
Exactly. And she's young.
I'm gonna stop right there.
And she's an OnlyFans model. But it disappoints me the way that we're addressing it, as far as like that it's a big deal that it's a white girl when we have a lot of successful relationships with black men with white women. So, no, you know what I'm saying? I don't think, you know what I'm saying, that we should continue to do that like we're in the 1920s, you know what I'm saying? And that, you know what I mean? That this is a business. This is business.
Well, there was a black woman who went after the guy who was running for governor, the black man that was a black woman. And
right?
She felt like
two of them. And then another black girl came
There were
out
two
too.
of them. And they
Finished
felt
them
like,
off.
And then they felt that it was so egregious what he had done to them that he didn't deserve to be governor of Virginia.
Exactly.
And so, but when he withdrew his his candidacy, it all went away. So
that's right. That's right. And then they never filed criminal charges. That's what my thing is. Like, never. Was he as a young person? And this, of course, that was before he was married.
Yeah, that was before he was married.
For that Fairfax gentleman. And then so he couldn't have protected himself, like Bernice is saying, with a non-disclosure agreement, because at that age, who would have thought about it?
Right.
Who would have thought about it? Like she said, it's 20. It was like that, Bernice. Like 25 years later, 20. It was a lot of years later.
It wasn't 25, but it was about 15.
It was 15. It was long.
Yeah.
But if he would have walked up to them like, oh, here's a non-disclosure agreement, because when I grow up, I'm running for governor. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we kind of have to carry ourselves like that.
Yeah. I
feel that a lot of the problems that we have in our community is the lack of self-esteem. Like we think, oh, Shannon, he think he the man. But a lot of it, like I said, I'm telling you, the man, deals with a lot of physical limitations that it's impossible for us to think about. It's impossible for us to imagine. I can't begin to think about getting hit for 14 minutes. 14 minutes of just getting hit. He was getting hit for like 20 plus years of his life. I did have to do it to live. Like, so you think about how much his body hurts and the possibility of the brain issues. He just was trying to use her to hold on to something, you know what I mean? That's long gone. Maybe he felt like she reminds me of when I was 20, or something. But it was more of a mental issue. But when we address it, we turn it, I've seen so many people turn it. So that's why I wanted us to make sure that we look at it as, what's the lesson in here for us? Those of us who we are of sound mind. How can we protect ourselves? How can we? I remember my father at that point was like a dean. And my mom took all of us to go out of town. And there was this lady, she happened to be white, that worked at the college that my dad was the dean at. And she was the white lady, was like my mom's good friend. They worked in the same office and stuff. My mom worked at the same college, and they were all secretaries and, cute little girls, because they're young. We were little. So my dad was just in the office. And I'm a lot like my dad, and you'll notice once you hear the story. So my dad said, so the lady said, well, Dr. Bryan, this is what my dad tells me, because my mom went crazy and I was like, what is wrong? So my dad felt like he had to explain why our house was falling apart. So the lady said, well, Dr. Bryan, like, you know, your wife is out of town, the kids are gone and everything. You know, what you gonna do to eat? So, you know what my dad said? He said, well, what you gonna do? You gonna come make me something? And does not sound like something that I would say. I mean, we ain't even thinking about, we're not thinking about the person. And I was like, oh my God. And that lady told my mom what my dad said is, ooh, all hell broke loose. Oh my God. She was like, you told her, why don't you come and make me something? And the lady, I guess, I don't know, because that could have been the end of us as the Bryans. Somehow they got through it, but it took a long time. And the lady said, I hope she was playing, but we have to. And it was white looking, the lady ain't look no more white than my mom, but my mom ain't white. But isn't that something how we just got that in our head like that? I wanted to just go to that lady like, why you say anything to my daddy? Because they be screaming and yelling every day now. Goodness gracious, my dad flirting. So what you gonna do? You gonna come? You're not so. He said, he should have said, look, he should have had the whole office with an NDA. Tracy said, when asked, Shannon always answers that he will not date.
JB, this remind me of
Tracy trying to make me.
TLC
Tracy
Don't
trying
Go
to make me
Chasing the
mad.
Waterfalls.
I'm in denial. Is that true, y'all? Oh my God, Tracy wouldn't tell me something that's not true. Is that true, Tracy? What'd you say, Ms. Deloach? I'm sorry.
I said, I think about the TLC song, Don't Go Chasing the Waterfalls. A younger woman, a woman outside your race, stick to the stuff you know. I know you don't agree with that, but
I know, right? I'm not saying that I don't agree with that. I'm just saying that we should be at a place where we can date anybody you want to date. But look,
yeah, but just think about these 57, 60-year-old men go out there and start dating a 21-year-old. They end up with a baby that they didn't
that
want.
might
Well,
not
what
be
you
theirs.
expect?
Did you know that about
Well,
did you know that about Barry White? Like Barry White had left his wife, and then when he died, he was still married to his wife, but he was living with his girlfriend. So his girlfriend told his wife, who was still the executor of his estate, and she said, this is Barry's baby. And she said, but you know what? I won't ask you for nothing. Just give me the house that me and Barry are in. Me and Barry were in, because he died, you know. And his wife said, no, I'm waiting for the baby to be born. They did the DNA test, and guess what?
Yes.
These are all black people. It wasn't Barry's
That's
baby.
why I say it's
So I think that what we have to do is like when Shannon sets up rules like that, he sets himself up. You see what I'm saying? Like he set up a rule, I'm not gonna see black girls. So he set himself up to be messed over by a white girl, because when a person finds out that you have that type of weakness, they're gonna ride on it. She knew it. The texts that she was sending to him was like, I'm everything to you. You know what I'm saying? You really want this. I'm worth 50,000 to you. I'm not even going to sign this paperwork, and you still going to deal with me. And that's all because what? He had decided, and it could have been because his mama smacked him too many times upside the head or something. You never know. Because you have to, you know how people go, how you be raised by a black woman and then you don't want to date a black woman? Easy. Because all you see us as is the one that beat you upside the head. The one that told you maybe you weren't going to never be nothing. So you learn to generalize. And I mean, not, to say all black women are like that, because my mama was like that. No, y'all so and so, like, you know, and all of them, all like, it would be hard because I set up a stereotype in my mind because, like, when I was growing up, we lived on a white street. We were the only black people on that street. And all the white women on that street that I knew of, there was this one lady, her and my mom were always at odds, but they were so sweet, especially the lady across the street. So I said, like I said, I said, when I grow up, I never thought about like, she's white, I'm black. I just said, I want to act like her when I get married. And there was this lady, like this little white lady across the street. And she was just so sweet. She would go, baby, honey, sweetie, baby, honey, sweetie. And my mom didn't talk like that. I'm like, sit down, get out, sit down. So my mom looked just as white as her, but so I wasn't picking because of color. It was just behavior that I liked to be treated like that. So sometimes it could be that they are picking behavior. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, I chose what I wanted to imitate. It didn't work out well for me because black men saw me as a pushover. She's so nice. You know what I'm saying? And that sounds like, I think some people are socialized that if a person is too nice, they don't respect that either. So life is just about living. It's like we can't, you know, just as I took this really nice stereotype and just like didn't learn how to adjust it. You know what I'm saying? We have to like, yeah, we have to become more flexible with life. So when we set up the steadfast rules, like white women will mess you over, you know, we're going to miss out on a lot. There's some good white women, good white men, good black men, good black women, you know, so yeah. But Shannon just messed up and it won't that girl's fault. She was smart. You know what I'm saying? She was smart. There's a smart girl that can call her young or whatever. She was smart. She picked a guy with a whole lot of money, made demands, refused to sign the paperwork. If that was a man that was making those kind of moves, we'd be calling him smart, gangster. You know what I'm saying? Everything like hey, he did that. Like, and it like she just outsmarted him. Then he gave into the $10 million, you know, but at the same time, if you know you're not smart, surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. Right? Only 3 promises, exactly. Exactly. It's Dr. Umar. Exactly. It is so, but he did, and I saw it. I was listening to it. I was listening to Dr. Umar the other last night, and it, like, he is very upset about it. But that's when it came to me that nobody is really thinking about the fact that Shannon could have brain problems. He could have brain damage, and a lot of divorces, a lot of suicides, you know, come out of what he has lived through. And this is really not normal behavior. You know what?
Shannon has a lot of enemies, especially
That's
after the
right.
Cat Williams. So many people in jeopardy
And it don't
that
cost much to
if
find a woman
anything,
that'll get a couple
yeah,
$1 million. It don't, or man.
yeah.
You know, I've looked back on my life and I have thought about, you know, the unnecessary risks that I've taken. We trust people. We trust people. And like sometimes, and I'm no Shannon Sharp, but a lot of times I've noticed I meet people and they act like they don't know who I am. And then something will happen later on. I'll see them again and they're telling me about myself without realizing that they never told me that they didn't know. You see what I'm saying? That they didn't. So I'm just acting like I was just someone I met. And this is men. And then when you're public like Shannon and myself, people know more about me. So I'm meeting a person that knows way more about me. I talk about my kid. I talk about, you know, my office locations. I talk about, you know what I'm saying? Divorce. There's way more. They can just sit there and This one guy told me he watched almost every video I have. He said, I even saw a picture. You have some pictures that are still up on your Facebook of your ex-husband. And there I was like, this is really spooky. He said, yeah, all night long, I just went through all your stuff.
Run.
A part of me was like, oh, I'm so in love. Oh my God. Oh my God, you were like that much into me. And that's sad. And that's sad. Because what do? All we do is work all the time. So you're just like impressed with that. Like I could see Shannon, like, you know what I mean? This girl is like, she's not talking about his knee hurting. She's acting like he's everything. She's so, you know what I'm saying? And she's like, looked at all his stats and blah, blah, blah. She's like, because I'm going to get millions. She's going to come. Even if she gets 1 million, we go to college and have to pay loans. She going to just do that for a year and a half and become a multimillionaire. I would learn every stat he got. That's what she did. Focus. We in there studying financial. I'm over there doing dividends and shit. She's up there. She gonna come out. She'll be 25 with more money than all of us.
Now, you think she was powered by somebody else too?
Yes. But
I think so.
even if they take half, she's still good and debt free without school loans. And she could come out with her book. You know, she like to show herself. She's gonna do Playboy centerfold. She gonna be rich.
I think he's doing the right thing by coming open, not trying to hide. I mean, we don't know all the details of it. Just being open that, hey, you know, I'm being sued.
That's right. Oh yeah. Well, he didn't have. Well, the only reason he
I
should have
was in
told
a
us in
relationship.
January when they first came to him, and he should have never made an offer. But a lot of people do not have wise counsel around them. I don't care how much your lawyer costs. If they're not in, you got to know God in order to know if they're in your best interest. You got to know God. You know what I'm saying? I am not afraid of death. I am not afraid of dying, y'all. Not one bit. What I fear is you all having to live on without me. And I'm not even joking about that. Because there are so many people that don't love you like I love you. And I mean that with everything within me. That's the only reason I got in financial services. I was like, I'm so tired of these knuckleheads talking to me about going on dates and shit. And I just want to get a mutual fund. I said, you know what? I just have to do this myself. And literally, that's what happened. They were like, well, yeah. Well, you know, let's go to Chinese. Nah, I don't want to go to Chinese. But if you're young, like, you know what I'm saying? I get it with these little girls. Like, you know what I mean? These people doing this stupid stuff. They think we stupid. And as you get older, people with mind problems like Shannon, they're not going to address a woman that is going to give them a mental challenge and say, Shannon, you know what? You got some issues. No, it's not. Like, Shannon, we need to get some help. Somebody should have said this way before this. When they got that write-up at ESPN for doing something to somebody that's going to come out, you know what I'm saying? It should have been addressed. But, so y'all don't think it's a color issue. It's a mind issue. Everything in our life is a mind issue. Isn't it true, though? It's like keeping your mind clear enough to stay focused on what really matters in life. I was listening to this man this morning. He was talking about like having the ability to focus on your wife and how much freedom it is in that. And then the guy interviewing him was like, you know, it's freedom and like your wife. And he said, yes, because if you don't focus on your wife, Imagine all the pain that you're causing and the lack of freedom then because of all of the hell that you create from the lack of discipline. So people get so caught up in the, oh, I'm just bogged down to this one person. I'm just bogged down to this and this. No, it's a blessing in that. It's saving your life. Like on Easter, I was like, I'm so glad that I have this class that I'm taking. Now, y'all know all I've done before is like complain about it. But then I said, thank God for the discipline. I could be out there like Shannon Sharp messing around with little boys. You know what I'm saying? Making it, but literally, if I were doing that, it's because I would have a mind problem. But because I have the discipline to want more from my life, because the smarter, in my opinion, the smarter I am, the more I have to offer to you. He could have looked at his life that way too. He could have been studying journalism classes. He could have been doing anything. The kind of money he has, you have to, but you got it. But that's why I'm saying that. You know, it's not even fair to say it about him because he's not of sound mind. But for those of us who are of sound mind, we can make better choices. We can realize the freedom is in the discipline. The freedom is not in the lack of discipline. We live in a world that said, I can do whatever I want. So we do stupid stuff. Hence the money is gone. Hence the money is gone. Divorce and splitting up assets and stuff like that is one of the most devastating things to people's wealth. You're trying to figure it out, and you're grown, you Shannon Sharp's age, and got to split everything and all of that. Like, you know, discipline. Look at Jeff Bezos. He's just out there, he's in pain. He's the one that sees that girl. I don't know if they got married or not. Like, and she just basically dresses like she's naked, you know, and he just feels like, you know what I'm saying? That's his freedom, like to show absolutely no discipline, to have a woman that just shows herself next to me, grown man, little girl, she's naked, Kanye. The discipline is gone. They think it's freedom, but it's the lack of freedom. True freedom is our ability to maximize this beautiful life that God has given us without causing pain to anybody else. Without causing pain to anyone else. And if your freedom causes pain, chaos to others, that's not freedom. That's evil. That's costly. Maybe a lawyer can prove that the stress of being a Black man, exactly. That's going to be harder than proving that his head got hit. But there is proof that, you know, our Black men and Black people are under extreme amount of stress, extremes. So many research studies that show that. It has led to the increase in the diseases that are among the Black community at higher levels and higher percentages. Almost every Black person grows older and gets high blood pressure. Come on. Don't mess around. Don't do stupid stuff. That's right. I can honestly say that I have never dated outside our race. You know, so yeah, and I guess like Mr. Whitlock has given me the opportunity to say, because you never know. Sometimes when people are open to things, they just like, oh, JB, wait till you gonna have Jim Bob standing up there behind you soon. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I want us all to be open to loving whoever God puts in our heart to love, and know that I'm gonna love you. I know that I'm gonna love you, and that, you know, the truth of the matter is a Black person and a white person get together, they're gonna have Black kids, and they still gonna add to AfroEconomics. And some people say, well, I don't get that. Why they gotta be Black kids? Because that's what happens. It just happens. That's our DNA. My baby gonna have nappy hair. Exactly. I don't care how light it is. I have a baby today. It's gonna have a fro. It's a nappy head. They're gonna figure it out. Miss Davis, how you doing with your arm over there? Miss Davis, you and Miss Deloach both got sports injuries at the same time. I'm just gonna, but Miss Deloach literally was a sports injury. She was visiting Shannon. I'm just joking. No, no, but at least she was in the pool. Miss Davis, I'm so sorry. And she has surgery though, Miss Deloach. Look at it. Can you tell? Y'all can't tell she has a sling on.
Yeah, you can.
They can't tell. You can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can see that.
Yeah, that's so cool. That you are all right. That you are all right is the cool part.
The rehab lady is on her way over, so we're gonna not start it today, but she's coming like to introduce herself.
Get her to sign an NDA as she comes in. anything comes on that goes on in your house is not to be shared with the public. She'll be like, who she thinks she is? So I gotta get this to my employer. Well, I can't sue you until you sign it, and then literally we should carry ourselves like that. No, don't forget who you are. Tell her I'm Weeda Davis, and
I'll be sure to do that.
You gonna need to sign it. Well, what you do? Don't worry about that. Sign it. Bring it back. If you can't sign it right now, then we can't. You cannot touch this shoulder till you bring it back. She might come in there. Look, she might come in there and take pictures of your naked arm, and ruin your whole career.
Look, let me tell you, I wouldn't really care. After last night, I don't care what she does.
She better do something, right?
Yeah, last night wasn't one of my best nights, but it's better now. It's not. It doesn't hurt. It's just discomfort. I'm like at maybe like a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
But last night, I think I reached 20. I could not get. Because you can't. You got to sleep sitting up. You can't. I definitely can't lie on this side, and on this other side. That bothers me too.
Look at Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf. You see that? Lone Wolf talking about looking good, Lady Davis. You shut up. Shut up. See that, Mr. Whitlock? See how women treat you when they get mad? Look at that. What is Mr. Whitlock said when women get mad, when the women don't get their way. Exactly, Mr. Whitlock. And Lone Wolf came up in here talking about some other woman. And then I didn't get my way. I'm about to block him. Looking good, Lady Davis. You will never, you see if you ever get back up in here, Lady Davis. Lady Davis. Block. Is it true? In the right order, Mr. Whitlock. And I'm not even white. I'm black. He come up here talking about another woman. But like, what happens, it could literally, people and men get mad at women and do things. No, he can't see that. But Miss Davis said, thank you. Look, now y'all want to talk over me. He can't see you say thank you. Shut up. That's right. But literally, like, I think that there are things that have happened, with women. I just think that we don't see these things with women as often because I think they just look different. They just look different. But there are definitely women who have been exploited. It just looks different. They might be less likely to tell it publicly or the man to go public with it. But, there's people who have superstars who have been married and they've been so busy working. And then the person say, I don't want to be married to you anymore. But they were married long enough to qualify for 20 million, 30 million, 40 million. It's a different approach. Like, because you think, but that's a husband and wife and this and that. But, what if you saw the details, the person might say, but he never loved me. Whose story was I watching the other day? I think it was like Gloria Gaynor's, the one that wrote that song, I Will Survive. And it's a really sad story. And she thought her husband loved her. It was something, like, but there's like, it happens. I think, oh, thank you. You say love me. Yeah, whatever. Say something about like, you look good. You look good, JB. Say something inappropriate. Say something. Say something good. Say something make me feel 20 years old. Say anything except for you want to choke me. That's so inappropriate. But wouldn't it be funny if he said that though? I want to choke you. I'd be like, oh, I'm so flattered. I'm so flattered. Look, it would be funny if Shannon said that to every woman. Wouldn't that be funny that he used that as a defense? He'd be like, look, I got 20 women that I told him I was going to choke, and they all come into court. That would be something else. And the woman would be like, yeah, he told me that too. Yeah, he told me that too. I'll be like,
now,
yeah, he told me that too. Exactly. What'd you say?
Told the lady that? Is that something that was said or something?
Yeah, okay. Exactly. Exactly. You need to keep up on the stuff.
Oh.
Exactly. Look, and I never ever use clickbait. That's what I love about myself. I'm the anti-clickbait. I always talk about the business perspective. Shannon Sharp did not get that girl to sign the NDA. Hence, is the only reason that we're talking. Because if I had gotten her to sign the non-disclosure agreement or a confidentiality form, anything, whatever you want to call it, don't tell my business, or like Little Richard used to do. Have y'all heard about what Little Richard used to do? Little Richard said, I love white girls, but whenever I would bring them in my house or in my car or anywhere, I would make them take a picture with me. And then he said there'd be one on one side, one on the other side, and they take a picture and they'd be smiling. He said, because if she ever said that anything that I did, I made her do, you know what I'm saying? I was going to be protected. Good for him. Good for him. That's an NDA before an NDA.
Well, Bob Johnson, BET, when he and his wife split, the $1 billion, I think it was $3 billion they split. And I don't know if they had, if he had, or if they had NDAs, I don't know. But that was a lot. And in her book, I read her book, and it's
another person was Sherry Shepherd. She had to pay her former husband, I believe, like $100,000 a month.
She was saying that Sherry Shepherd had to pay. Is that Mr. Barden? Can you hear that's Barbara in California was saying Sherry Shepherd is paying alimony. Exactly. What I was saying about women being exploited. But Mr. Barden, you were saying about her book.
Yeah, I was saying about her book is that she talks about, how, Bob did these things, and so
yes,
and really embarrassed her and that kind of thing.
Yes.
So yeah, so so Black women can be exploited too.
Yes. Yes. But what I didn't like about her particular situation was when she did come out with that book, he could not have had a non-disclosure agreement on her. Because her and Gayle King said really bad stuff about him.
Yeah.
And I was like, I guess it didn't matter because she had the assets split. You know what I'm saying? But she really tore him up. And I wondered often if the promotion of her during that phase, because there was no reason to really help her, was because he had come out with why we are owed reparations. It was at the exact same time. He said, the United States government owes Black people, blah, 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 $1 trillion, da, da, da. The next thing you know, they have got this Black woman up here saying he's nothing.
Well, I mean, the thing is that just because rooster crows in the morning doesn't mean the rooster made the sunrise.
Yeah.
Oh, they could have been just coincidental.
Just coincidental.
It could have been coincidental.
You're right.
You know,
You're
but
right.
her lawyer in the whole case, she ended up marrying the lawyer. So you know.
Whoa, that was a good one. He got a good one. He married her after he got his fees too.
Yeah.
He said, "We gonna make Bob pay my fees,
exactly,
and I'm gonna take your woman." And look, he's like, and I can't, and you can't sue her for defamation because I said so. And it was there was no way, even though she's wrong, you know what I mean? And he could sue her because she can't really prove that. You know what I'm saying? I guess she could just, it would have had to have been, you know what I mean, civil, but it's like, it cost him so much, like they were saying with Shannon, that he had to offer that 10 million because either way he was going to have to pay lawyers 8 million. No matter. They were like, it's going to be at least like 8, you know, and he said, so if he could get it down by giving her, then he'd get just this to get out of the situation. You know what I'm saying? Then he would be saving, but everybody is not going to work with you. They're going to work with you, like just like with Michael Jackson. That young man said the Michael Jackson did nothing to me. Nothing. And Michael Jackson paid his family millions just to settle to get away from it.
Yeah.
And it's something like, you know, so if Michael Jackson had got a non-disclosure agreement before he allowed that family to come into his life, you know what I'm saying? He would have been better off.
It's true.
But they accused him of criminal though, which is, and then he settled civilly, I guess. But I think they took it. I don't know if they ever took it to the police.
They took it to court, but I don't think it ever came to trial.
Yeah. So I think they were really going for money the whole time.
And then it went to civil, and then that's when, you know.
They got, because he never got charged for it. You know what I'm saying? Criminally. And so the NDA, which is frequently called, so if you hear that term NDA, or we need you to sign an NDA, like that, it doesn't stop you from being able to sue them if they harm you. It just stops them from, that allows them to sue you if you tell their business. If you tell what they consider very important, which is damaging to them, you cannot do that. And they'll give you a detailed, you would give the person a detailed list. You come in my house, you cannot tell on anything. You cannot tell. And there is something in the charges where she says that Shannon got mad because she was about to text to people her location. And what the challenge is that if a lot of people have been killed by people coming and then giving each other your location, like how you doing, Mr. Williams? Like if me and you, if I tell you, oh, you know, I'll meet me so and so, and then you meet me, then I've told other people, hey, Al's going to be at such and such location, you know, and then you get shot. So I do feel like that Shannon realized that street knowledge, that if she shares your information, you know, then you're at risk physically. So that if he said, I'll kill you if you do that, he was saying that from a Black man knows that people have been killed because women did that. Sam Cooke is dead today because of that, in my opinion. So it's like, you know, it happened to Daystar Television Network. That NDA it is important. Exactly. He followed the code on that. So, you know, as did she follow the code on somebody that's setting you up. It was pretty clear. I'm not gonna sign this paperwork, and I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, and I'm gonna text you that you just harmed me, and you ain't heard the last of this. At which point, when she texts that I don't know what to make of what you just did to me, that was when he should have gone to the lawyer. and said, I messed up. I don't have an NDA. I don't have any confidentiality protection. I've seen this before, because he has, and then, but because these are things that make sense to us. Look at that German Shepherd. I love German Shepherds. These things make sense to us, but they don't make sense to someone with brain damage. And I still say Shannon has brain damage, but we'll see how it all plays out. We'll see. But I think y'all have given me great feedback. Thanks. We got people in Zoom. Thank y'all so much. Yes, indeed. I appreciate it. YouTube has been great. Just wanted to do something different this morning. Wanted to make sure that we just went over why we need these non-disclosure agreements personally and professionally, because I feel that we all should see ourselves as a personal enterprise. So you want to protect your confidential information. You want to facilitate trust in business relationships by saying these are the things that we can talk about. These are the things we can't talk about. Define the scope of what is considered not to be disclosed to other people. Also, you want to make sure that your NDA says what you will do to them, what your legal actions will be if this information is shared. Talk it through, compromise on it. It's also a way, like if you want to show somebody a business idea that you have, they should be signing an NDA before you show them that idea. You need to make sure that if they come in your house and you've got a new invention in your house, and they see the invention, the next thing you know, your patent has been sent to the patent office before you could do it. You could even have like nobody brings phones in my house, or all phones are turned off in my house. If you volunteer somewhere, definitely that doesn't change it. Like the place where you go in to volunteer, if someone came in to volunteer for me, I would be more suspicious of them than someone who I was actually paying, because you have more protection with someone that you're paying. If someone's coming in and volunteering, I would definitely think they're being paid off. No, I think what helps Shannon in this situation is that she actually said what she would do for $50,000. And that I feel that takes it from a relationship until this is my prostitute. Then that becomes a business transaction. So that's totally, totally different. And you could have stuff like that in your non-disclosure agreement, distinguishing the difference between personal activities, the business activities, and why this is important to you. You want to make sure that you have a confidentiality agreement or a non-disclosure agreement that has a specific duration. It can't be done, say, for the rest of my life. But I might say, thank you. I might say, thank you, Mr. Barden. But I might say for the next 30 years, so that, because I would say that 30 years from now, I won't care if you, show these naked pictures of Miss Davis's arm, but she might care about it next year. She don't want her arm out there like that. So you might have your NDA for for 30 years of coverage. And that's better too, because I don't even think that it would pass legally by saying indefinitely. You can't ever talk about me. So, and make sure if you have it, you endorse it, that you encourage it, that you use it. Like Shannon did not do. He had the document ready and let her get away with not signing it. Yes. I appreciate y'all. What is Aruka girl said? That was Derek Jeter. Everyone had to give up their phones. I know that's right. That's right. Give up the phone at the door. Yeah, some get searched just to come into the house. Yeah. It's 2025. Get one of them things. No? Search them down. Y'all take care. I appreciate y'all. And I hope that you'll repeat. If you got into this late, just go back to the beginning. We're talking about non-disclosure agreements. Went into a real live example why it came up to me. That no one is really talking about the fact that what would be different for Shannon Sharpe if he had actually got that signed. He did ask her to sign, but he didn't require it. If you get it, use it. If they don't want to sign it, there's a reason. I would love to know her reason. Well, we do know her reason now, because she couldn't be suing like this. She could have been set up with Busby the whole time. Well, have a good one. If you need any help from me, don't hesitate to call 1-844-JB-BRYAN, 1-844-522-7926. This was our members only meeting that we opened up today to have a open discussion on something that is going on right now. And it's, really sad for both parties involved. I want better for her, and I definitely want better for them both. Lord, yes. But I'm going to tell you, if God will bring you to it, he'll bring us through it. And there is a lesson in everything that we go through in life. We're not a victim unless we decide to be. What we could do is be someone that's learning, someone that made a mistake, someone that's going to do better. Never feel that you got so far that you can't get back. You get correct. We can't self-correct. Take care. God bless y'all. Bye-bye.